Okay, I have a few short stories to tell. Went to a private medical group that I go to often. It's family owned. And I've been going there for a year. So you would think I have, built some confidence in these people and, I show up on time for my appointments and all this kind of stuff. So I had a very important phone call that I had to take, and I was going to pull in their parking lot, take the phone call, and maybe be a few minutes late. So I had my assistant, Asia, call the place and let them know I'm running a little bit late. But unfortunately, we got this kind of answer. We're extremely busy today. If he needs to cancel the appointment, we understand, but we have no other time to get him in, and we close at 5. Okay. I didn't say I was going to miss the appointment. I just said I might be a few minutes late, and I was just kind of giving them the heads up, okay? Now, let's take that little story, and let me tell you what would happen at McAfee. The answer would be, no problem. No problem. We'll wait on you. If a customer calls and says, we're running late, we'll be there within 5 or 10 minutes, that's fine. Our technician, our installer, our air duct cleaner, our plumber, whatever it takes, no problem. We'll wait on you. Because that's what we do for our customers. All right, another quick story. I'm going to say it's a home service we don't provide. Been using them for years, probably 8 years. Again, family owned. I like to use family owned businesses. However, most family owned businesses are just extremely comfortable and they do just enough to get by. Because we called, again, Asia, call this company, have this service scheduled. We do Saturday mornings. We've been doing Saturday mornings for a long time because the service that I'm talking about here, and I don't want to mention it too much because both these individuals may watch my podcast. I don't know. But if they do, I hope they can connect a little bit. But I'm not going to call them out. I'm not going to name what they do. I'm not going to name their company. So Asia calls them, lets them know, I don't know, it was 3 Saturdays from now, we'd like to get this service scheduled. Okay? Here's the answer of the family member on the phone. I'm sorry, we don't have any Saturday mornings available until way after Thanksgiving. Okay. They start at 8 a.m. They know I get here, I don't know, anywhere between 5 and 6. It takes about an hour and a half for them to perform this service that they've been performing multiple times for a long time, okay? I'm sorry, we don't have any openings until after Thanksgiving. Okay, answer for McAfee. Okay, well, we are scheduled up quite a bit. However, if you would like, and I know you guys get in there pretty early, if you would like, we can go ahead and schedule this for 6 a.m. and get it done for you before we have to start our first job anyway. And by the way, this service makes, but grosses $650 for an hour and a half to perform this service that I'm willing to pay for. So they're not walking away with peanuts, okay? It's family owned. There's 2 family members that perform the service. But again, the McAfee way, we're going to figure out a way for you, whether it's that Saturday or can you do another Saturday or whatever, and we're going to make a way to do your job without having to make you wait, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about today is the silent business killer. Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. Okay, welcome back to the Greg McAfee Show, where we discuss steps to successful entrepreneurship, how to take your business to new heights, and ultimately follow your dreams. Today, we're going to be discussing the silent business killer, underestimating customer experiences. Okay? Now, if you do catch any noise in the background today, it is our 7th annual Truck or Treat. Here at the McAfee headquarters, we have about a 1/4 mile track around our building, and it's truck or treat. We have many vendors come in with their trucks, multiple different trucks, school buses, backhoes, anything for kids, dump trucks. Other businesses in the area bring their vehicles in wrapped and all that, and they park and they hand out candy and they have games and they have all kinds of stuff, and we have between 2,000 and 3,000 people and children dressed up in Halloween. Very safe event. We have lots of photo ops. Something pretty cool new this year is straw horses that'll hold up to about 100 pounds. So any kid can get their pictures on these horses, and they're full-size horses. It's pretty cool. But anyway, if you hear anything in the background, we have the FOP here, motorbike, and it's a Harley, which we have sponsored. Many different. We bought a trailer for them to haul around. But anyway, all kinds of cool stuff going on. If you do happen to hear anything in the background, I don't know if you will, but I did hear the Harley pull in. You could definitely hear that. Okay, so we're going to talk about the silent business killer, and I'm going to give you some topics here that will make you think. Okay, you're either going to go, hey, we're on top of this, or you're going to go, crap, we need work here. Okay. And remember, my calling is just to make you think differently. If I can make you think differently, I will change your life, I will change your business, and I will help you grow. This podcast that I do for free and actually pay someone to edit and pay someone to post it and all that stuff that I do for free will help you grow your business, help you make more money, help you hire more, provide jobs, all those good things. That's what I'm hoping it does. And from the feedback I get, I'm right on track. So let's get started here. All right, so number one is the loss of customer loyalty. Here's what happens when you don't take care of your customers. A lot of times we don't even know we're not taking care of them well until it's brought to our attention, and that's what I'm hoping to do today. So we're looking at loss of customer loyalty. You see, poor service can drive customers away. One single negative experience, like I just named two at the beginning of this show. I named two, and those both happened within 3 days. I didn't like them happening, but I do like when they happen that I can use for this show to help all of us understand just how important this is. So a single negative experience may cause customers to switch to competitors, leading to long-term loss of business. It's often harder and more expensive to bring back a customer than it is to make a new one. And then number two, you've got damaged reputation. Bad reviews and negative word of mouth can spread quickly in today's digital world. And by the way, folks, if you're not on top of this, your Google reviews, if you're not on top of responding to those, shame on you. I notice some companies just don't respond at all. And maybe only to the negative ones. That's not good. We respond to every review that comes in. We're actually behind right now because I personally do that. And some of you are going to say, Greg, why are you touching that? Because I enjoy doing it. And I whatever I enjoy doing, I continue to do if it makes sense to the company. I only do about 4 or 5 main things here, and that's one of them. If unsatisfied customers are more likely to share their bad experiences online, and I'll tell you, I hate that because I don't do that. That's my last resort. For me as a customer, that's my last resort. I will email the company. I will talk to a manager. I will talk to the owner if possible, but I won't drop a bomb on anybody until I give them a chance to fix it. And then if they don't fix it, they're going to get a 1 or a 2 star from me, and I'm going to light them up, okay? And I'll tell you, sometimes a 2 or a 3 star hurts a company more than just a 1, because customers look at 1s and they go, that guy's just ticked off. That's all. He's just ticked off. But when you give someone a 2 or a 3, that means they've tried to resolve it, and they haven't got it resolved. And a 2 or a 3 is very serious, because a 2 or a 3, a potential customer will look at that and go, that's just not good service. I'm not going to use them. So you lose a customer over a 2 or a 3 more than you just do a 1 bomb, okay? But you're potentially damaging your reputation. You're discouraging potential customers from engaging with you and your business. All right, number 3, decreased employee morale. You see, poor service often reflects underlying operational issues. If employees are not properly trained or supported, which I'm going to talk about more here in a minute, it can result in frustration, disengagement, leading to further service failures and high turnover rates. Now, I'm going to talk about this more, how very, very important it is for you to train your employees on how you want things done. I'll get to that here in a minute. Very important for you to stay on this channel, stay on this show, and hear this, because it's going to change your world, okay? Then we've got reduced revenue. Unsatisfied customers are more likely to return or refer others. And we rely a lot on referrals. We don't build businesses on referrals. We rely on referrals. If you don't have a good advertising, branding, marketing system in place, just word of mouth is not going to grow your business to a whole new level. It trickles in, it helps, it grows, helps you grow, but you can't just rely on that alone. It's just like you can't rely on TV alone or radio alone or social media alone. You got to put them all together. It's the big package. It's the bundle that makes things function and makes you zoom to the top. That's what happens. So over time, this directly impacts your bottom line. You're not going to fall off the cliff by one bad review, but put 10 of them in 2 or 3 months, or stuff like that. It'll take you down. It'll take you down faster than you know it. Put it that way. And it makes it difficult to grow and even maintain steady revenue. And then here's where we're going. Here's where we're going with this. Actually, let me go with this one first. Increased operational costs. Dealing with the fallout of poor service, just as handling complaints, refunds, or damaged relationships, can increase operational costs. Resources spent on rectifying issues could be better invested in proactive, which we're all about, improvements to enhance customer service. So instead of trying to fix things all the time and fix complaints and fix customers, which takes a ton of time and energy and money, think about how more proactive you can be in improvements and helping your business grow. All right, and then you've got stagnant growth. And the next one's called employee ignorance. You're going to see where I'm going with this. It's nothing against the employee. It starts with you. But we're going to talk about employee ignorance. So now you got stagnant growth. Without consistent effort and innovation, the business becomes stagnant. Status quo, stagnant. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. It's stagnant. If you see a pond or a lake that's stagnant, it gets a lot of algae buildup. Nothing's flowing. Nothing's growing. Nothing's happening. The only thing that's growing is algae and mold and mildew. Okay? So a lack of new ideas. Boy, I just can't comprehend that. A lack of new ideas. And I tried to coach someone recently who expected me to come up with all the ideas and got very unhappy with my coaching because I wasn't feeding him every day. There comes a time where you don't feed your kid anymore. You let them feed themselves. There comes a time in your business when you should be feeding it and growing it. You hire a coach to enhance or improve your business, but it should be flowing without a coach. It should be flowing without a consultant. It's just not growing and flowing fast enough. That's why you hire a coach. But a coach does not, let me tell you something. If I could coach people and grow their business fast, I'd be living next to Elon Musk. I'd be living next to him because everybody would be hiring me to grow their business. The job of a coach is to help you think different, to help you go out there and think and grow your business. I'll give you ideas. I'll ask you questions, but I'm not feeding you everything every single day. That's ridiculous. And we parted friends. We had to, and I'm okay with that because that's just not how coaching works. And I kind of tried to tell them when they hired me how I work. I make you work for it, but I will give you good little nuggets on what to do and how to do them. All right, back to the show. Lack of new ideas, lack of improvements, lack of investments in business can result in missed opportunity for growth and expansion. Okay? So, the silent business killer. All these are silent business killers. And lastly, employee ignorance. What does ignorance mean? Ignorance is not that you're stupid or dumb or anything like that. Ignorance is lacking knowledge or awareness. In other words, you hire someone, they're great, they're smart, but they're not knowledgeable about you or your business. You know why? Because you throw them in a position, you give them a couple hours training, and you say, go. And they're like, I'm only going to do what I know from the last company I worked at, and the last company I worked at wasn't that great. You know, they were number 500 out of 600, right? And you expect them to just go. Now that's stupid, okay? That's not ignorant. As a business owner, that's stupid. And people do it every single day. People throw technicians in trucks every single day after a few hours of sitting down with them and talking to them, and they say, go. That's stupid. They're only going to do what they know from the previous company, no matter how bad the previous company was. We just hired a couple of guys. I know this because I was in a meeting about it, and we just hired a couple guys that bring in quite a bit of revenue off leads. And even though they do, we're not throwing them in a truck tomorrow. They're going to get trained the McAfee way. It's going to be a couple weeks before they're out there running, and they're good. They're above average good, okay? So we don't want them lacking knowledge. As a CSR, we don't want them lacking knowledge. CSRs take a long time. Some of them get pretty impatient that they're not answering phones, but after a couple weeks of answering phones around here, they understand why, all the training, and they get it. So lack of knowledge, lack of awareness, answering for the company without being properly trained or informed will take a company down. Like I said, won't happen overnight, but it's a slow process. And here's some examples. They don't know the company way. That's your culture, and that's how you do things. And they don't know it yet because you, the owner, have not taught them properly. That doesn't mean you're the one teaching them. That could mean an assistant manager or a manager or another employee who's really good. Letting them ride their wing for a while and learn. Because I'm going to show you what happens here in a minute. Culture. Culture is how you do business. Thanksgiving's coming up, and I guarantee you, if you're married, your family does Thanksgiving different than your spouse's family. Every time. Culture. Christmas is coming up soon. I guarantee you, your family does Christmas differently than your spouse's family. Culture. Every time. Your culture is different than mine, and mine's different than yours, and yours is different than 5 of your competitors, rather. It's culture. It's different. Expectations are different. Our expectations are high, extremely high for a small business. Our expectations are high. Here's what we expect. We've done it wrong in the past. 34 years of doing this. You better believe we've done it wrong earlier on. Today, we set all expectations. When you come in here, there's a process of training, and when we get done training you, you're expected to know our expectations of you. That's the way it works. And just what kind of sense of urgency does your company have? Again, I talk about McAfee because it's what I know best. I've trained a lot of companies. I've not seen too many companies have the high of sense of urgency as we do. I talk about this often. I started with just me, a truck, and $274. I did not like people to wait. Why? I'm not the most patient person in the world. I don't like the wait. Okay? Why would I make my customers wait? I don't. So our sense of urgency is like no other. We get to people fast. It's just like the story of the both stories I talked about, the private medical group and the home service business, which home service can perform for a business, which is what they do. They come in here and they perform a service for us. Both of those, my sense of urgency would not allow that answer from both of those. I have to get to people quickly. We'll figure out how. I used to say yes, and then we'll figure out how later. As we grew, it put pressure on a lot of service techs more than needed, and I figured out I was pushing too hard. But today, with the systems we have in place, we can do that because we can get to people relatively quick. If you only have 2 technicians and you hit this burst of high, if you're in heating and air and you hit this 105-degree weather or sub 10-degree weather, minus 10, and you're saying yes to every call, you're going to stress everybody out. But when you have 15, 20 techs, you can definitely say yes more often. So I don't know. I think out of all these, you've got, we're going to put these up here. Excuse me. You've got loss of customer loyalty. You've got damaged reputation. You've got decreased employee morale. You've got reduced revenue. And let me tell you something, folks. I've said this a couple times here lately, but net profit's extremely important. You can gross all you want, but net profit is extremely important. And you start losing on the net profit because you're not doing these things correctly, eventually it could take you under. Because the bottom line is net profit. You've got to net money. You've got to make money to stay in business. It doesn't work any other way. You can only lose so much money and stay afloat. Now, I will say that some people do that extremely well. They lose a lot of money and they still stay afloat, and I don't know how they do it, but it's rare and it's hard to do. I don't think I would try to do it very much. Okay? Because 90% are gone pretty quick. Okay. Employee ignorance, increased operational costs, stagnant growth. So it's very important that we train, educate, and teach these principles to our team in order for the company to be successful, in order for the employee to be successful, and in order for you to be successful. And that even trickles down to customers and suppliers, okay? Now, your effort is the engine. Your effort to do this is the engine that drives a business forward. Think about that. And without it, every aspect of the company suffers. A committed business owner fuels success by staying engaged and motivated. When you're not engaged and motivated, these things don't get taught correctly. Whether you are doing it or you're training someone else to do it, it's got to be done right. So you have got to want it bad. When somebody cannot figure out how to get a person in, see, that medical group at McAfee, here's something else we would have done. If you can get here and wait it out and I get ahead of schedule, I'll sneak you in. If not, I'll get you in right at 5 and I'll just stay over a little bit. Bottom line, serve the customer. You got to want to. We don't close. We close when we're done. Not by the clock. When we're done. That's when we close. So you got to think about that. Same way with the home service. We would have figured out how to serve the customer, still make a nice profit, and got one more in for the day. That's huge. It's just huge. So think about these things. They will change your life. They will change your business, and they will make you more money. Bottom line, they will make you more money. I can sit up here and talk pretty all day long, but I don't do anyway. But I can sit up here and talk to you about all the important things of customer service and team building and taking care of suppliers and all these things. But if you're not making money, nothing else matters. You're not going to be around long to listen to this or care about it. So what I teach helps you make more money. Think about it. Okay? Before we wrap up, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe below. You can also support this podcast by rating and reviewing on iTunes or your preferred listening platform. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Greg McAfee Show. No spaces, no underscores. And be sure to tune in next week. I'll do my best to keep challenging you to think differently. Thanks for listening. And as always, carry on. God bless. Make this day the best day of your life because we're not promised tomorrow. See you later.